One of the biggest hurdles we had at the beginning of the work was to find the suitable place for the hospital. So we looked to the mountainous areas, and we thought that maybe the town of Bela would be a good place. And a Christian, mature, godly man said, no, that's not the town for you, because the diamond mines are just down the road from there, and your hospital will be vandalized again and again and again. So Bela was not the town where we were going to build a hospital. The other mountainous area was in the center of the country around the town of Mamou, and that actually was where the crossroads of the country, the north-south and the east-west road cross. So we looked in that area as well, and many missionaries and national leaders affirmed that that was a good crossroads to approach. It happened that Dr. Lamine, who is the prayer founder of the hospital, happened to be a in-law by marriage to the governor of that area. So we went to their governorship office, and they talked some about family, and then the governor gave us the mayor's office, and the mayor and he chose people, a delegation, to go with me to look for land. And we visited 9 different sites there in the town. And then we selected the top 3 in our mind of what would be a good site for the hospital. And then the governor actually made the final decision of which of those 3 sites we would have. And God blessed us with a beautiful piece of land that is 75 acres in total size. We wanted it to be a little bit flat because it's easier to build on flat than it is on hills. And that was a criteria that we had. Another one was that we wanted water, and there was lots of water. There were 2 streams crossing this piece of property where it would be possible to have water to build with from the streams, but to run the hospital we needed potable water, drinkable water, and I'll tell you that story in just a minute. Another thing, we wanted to be connected to the network of electricity if possible, and that isn't available in the whole country of Guinea. It is so still en route to be developed that the capital doesn't have electricity 24/7 hours. So we bought generators and started with generators. Then God gave us solar power, and we have 24/7 electricity. We're the only hospital in the country that does, even in the capital. So God has blessed us with that need. The main need was the transportation, that the government's network of transportation would allow the people from every tribe of the nation to come to us so that we could reach them with the gospel. They will come for their medical care, but we wanted to reach them with the gospel of Christ as well. Another major hurdle was the issue of getting permission from the government to create the hospital. After we had bought the land and began to build the buildings, we put a garage up first because everything is going to come out of the garage as you're building. And then we put up the beginning skeleton of the hospital, and then we're going to put up a guest room, a guest house for the missionaries who would come. And that was the beginning of the hospital. So in 2007, we were able to begin to go forward with that. But to get permission, it was in 2005, 2006, as I was in government offices, that Dr. Conde was sitting across from me, and he said, we can give you permission to create the hospital as you planned it, but that area of sharing the gospel with everybody who comes, that is not in our domain of authority. We can't give you that permission. You have to go to a different ministry to get that. I said, I'm accountable to God first, and also to a board in America. And our purpose is to give that quality of medical care and to share the gospel. If I cannot do the sharing of the gospel, we cannot build the hospital. Dr. Conde looked down, and he thought probably for 45 seconds to a minute. And he raised his head and he said, we'll let you do that. So that was the beginning of the authority to begin the hospital. I can remember riding home in the taxi that day and calling Debbie literally in tears because God had opened a door. And we praise God for that.